Now tuning in to Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
I say something?
Always.
And I have to do this every year.
Yeah.
It's 10 a.m. in the studio and I really want a Slurpee.
Fuck, dude.
I'm so sorry. This episode is sponsored by 7-Eleven. I really want a fucking blue raspberry Slurpee so bad. It'd cure me, I think.
Yeah. It would heal us, for sure.
It's just, of what? I don't know. But
just my joie de vivre, you know, my joie de vivre. I need it, okay? I need like that silly, goofy Slurpee move.
I think my cat thinks his name is Slurpee because I said that and he immediately jumped up to the microphone like, yes, you called?
Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful name for a cat. Someone should name their cat Slurpee.
Oh.
For sure.
I would love to know. Hey, get in the comments. Let us know your favorite Slurpee flavor.
Oh, yeah.
I think there is a right answer, actually.
You think there's a one correct answer?
I can't have it anymore because it has caffeine and it will kill me. I think it's Coke, though.
Coke is, yeah, that's what I was thinking, too. I think it's Coke. Because, like, I like the theory of blue, right? Like, right. Conceptually, but I like
you
blue.
only just want I want a shot glass full of the blue raspberry.
Right, yeah. Right. I can't have a full thing.
Yeah, I want, like, the little Baskin-Robbins tasting spoon of it.
Yes, right. Just the little end of the tip.
Like, right, exactly.
Where it turns, the straw turns into a spoon. That's all I need of that.
I think the wrong answer is the yellow.
Cherry. Oh, yellow, yeah.
I don't know that necessarily counts because I feel like the yellow was always the one that was, like, broken. That had the red light on.
Right, I feel like I've never actually had yellow, because it's like, the 7-Eleven has 3. It's red, it's blue, and it's Coke.
Exactly.
And maybe if there's, like, a seasonal one, and then it's not working, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
The real Galaxy Brain was the people who would mix the Coke with just a little bit of the cherry.
Yeah. That's an inspired move, for sure.
But you had to, I think that, like, that was never something I did, because I feel like you really had to get the ratio right. Otherwise, it would get a little
It's a science, because then it could get too cherry, you know, syrupy, and that's not what you need.
Yeah. Those are the people who definitely went into, like, pharmacy stuff.
Right, those are women in STEM, for sure. For sure.
How are you?
I'm here, I'm living, I'm thinking about Slurpees, so that's something.
It's just it's the first warm day of the year. You can't blame me, you know?
I've submitted a photo to the class.
I'm so fucking intrigued. Can't stop staring at it.
Yeah, it's really powerful energy because I want to talk about a show. We're back, baby. We're back to television.
Amen.
And I want to talk about Everybody's in LA.
Okay.
Which is John Mulaney's short-lived live Netflix show that is basically like a late night kind of deal.
I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Netflix is doing the whole Netflix is a joke festival thing. So like a bunch of comedians are in town, whatever. And he cobbled up, 6 episodes with different people in a late night kind of vibe of just comedians and actors or whatever. And also talking about extremely niche LA topics. And it's pretty damn good. And this photo is of the great Richard Kind, love of my life. Absolute star.
Has only gotten better with time, I'll say that.
No, for sure. Like, nobody's doing it. Like, nobody's aging better and working better than Richard Kind right now. And that's a treat. That's a gift to all of us to be able to witness that. And he's just kind of like the MC guy. Like, they're riffing every episode. He's always there. He's in every episode.
Amen.
But it's very fun. And also, in addition to, they have, like, comedians and stuff. But each one is, like, a topic. Like, the first one was about coyotes. Another one was about palm trees. And so they also have, like, an expert about, like, actually, like, from the city or, like, who studies XYZ topic. And they're also, like, bantering with
and it's Richard
these
Kind
comedians.
each episode.
Yeah, it's Richard Kind in a wig. No.
No, but hear me out. That'd be fucking hilarious. Because I have very poor vision, I didn't know until you said Richard Kind. I thought that was, and it's mostly just because the fit, I full on thought that was Allie Beardsley.
Fuck.
Because I didn't realize until this moment, Allie Beardsley must take their fashion inspo from Richard Kind.
Richard Kind, for sure. That's a powerful, I need that collaboration stat.
Oh, I mean, that would end me.
Right, I need it more than air.
That's the perfect way to die. That's amazing. What I will say, too, Richard Kind is the kind of person, and this is just a personal beef with people, they'll put a photo of Richard Kind on Twitter and be like, can I say something? And it's like, go fuck yourself. Because it's like, Richard Kind has always been hot. Like, that's like taking a photo of Tom Selleck and being like, can I say something?
Right, it's like, be for real. It's so like, for real right now.
You're taking a photo of someone who has the most amount of Riz.
Right.
Like, learn this trend, please. This sounds great. I'm very excited to start my 1 month of Netflix for our bonus Jonas, so I can watch this.
How are you doing, my friend?
Oh, I'm alive.
Hell yeah.
I'm persistent.
Congrats.
I'm also bringing a show.
Look at us. We're so back, baby.
We're so here.
Have you guys heard about television? It's pretty good right now.
Because the fact that it's the first warm day of the year here, I was really tempted, and I know I've talked about it before, but I was really tempted to bring American Ninja Warrior.
Oh, sure. Like,
whenever it gets warm, I'm like, you know what I really crave?
Yeah.
Our boys.
Yeah.
But I got recommended this on TikTok. And I've linked for you specifically the video that intrigued me.
That gotcha. Okay.
And so I started watching this. It's called Crime Scene Kitchen. Mm-hmm. I'm surprised you didn't bring this because it's Fox show, and I know that you're like deep in Fox's pocket.
Right, I'm tapped in. Yeah.
You are on their payroll, notably. Yeah. And so I started watching this on Tubi, but the clip that really got me into it, it is all like solely based. It's all these baking couples, and like I'm already in, right? But it's all these like baking duos that go into this quote crime scene, right? Mm-hmm. And it's this kitchen where there's been someone's baked here, someone's cooked here, but it's only remnant. So it'll be like a little bit of carrot on a grater that's left in a sink, and they have to try and figure out what they're baking based on all of these clues. And so already I'm like, I'm in. I'm a sleuth. Right. I got this. Yeah. All of them end up baking different things based on what they see. And sometimes if they make the right thing, their advantage for the next round is they get more time in the next kitchen and like more clues.
Okay.
But what I saw in the clip that really got me is someone had baked this like pie. It was almost like a version of a key lime pie, but they put saltines as the crust. And they panned over to the judging audience, and they were like, what the fuck? We didn't see saltines. How did they find these? And the person on the judging panel was like, well, tell me more. How did you choose this? And the baker was like, well, it had this, like, texture, and it tasted a little bit savory. And they were going through, like, how they got through this, and I was like, all right, fuck, I'm in.
Yeah, this is like literally CSI.
No, it is, but it's not glorifying murder.
Right.
It's just, how do you deduce this? And I hadn't really seen any sort of like cooking challenge that made people have to sleuth. Mm-hmm. So I got on Tubi, and obviously I watched this, and there's only 2 seasons so far, but I'm very into it. Here's what I'm going to have to tell you all before you get shocked like I did. Mm-hmm. It's got that motherfucker from The Soup as the host.
That's wild. Yeah, I've seen, honestly, when I saw the image, I, for a second, thought you were bringing up Cutthroat Kitchen, which is very different.
That is a different show, but it's not Cutthroat
Not the same show. But I've seen ads for this. I have not dabbled in it, but I am intrigued by the concept, and also, I guess I didn't realize it was solely baking, which is way different. Like,
it is very different.
That is so tough because baking is incredibly precise.
Yeah.
and being like, okay, here are these like runes of ingredients that I have to sift through and like try to figure out is much more impressive knowing it is like a fully baking. I love a show that gives you a little puzzle to figure out in real time.
It is a puzzle, but usually I'm very anti-puzzle.
Right. Yeah.
But this one, the premise is interesting.
Yeah.
And I kind of fuck with that. We have a little smattering of current events this week.
We do. We do have a fun amuse-bouche.
Yeah. This first one, it's been a minute since we talked about Miss Suki.
Yeah.
And I didn't expect that we'd get news from her for a while.
Right, because she's in Babyland.
Yeah, I was expecting people would just let her lie low because she has a newborn to take care of.
Right.
But she said, fuck all your expectations. I'm going on tour.
Dang.
So, how about that, actually?
How about that? Sorry, this tour is called the Sparkle Muffin. Excuse me?
Listen, your hormones change.
Sure,
you have a
yeah.
baby, apparently.
Sure, yeah. Totally. I have some questions, but that's okay.
And it is, I do want to note for you all who are listening to this, it is not 3 words, the Sparkle Muffin. It is 2 words.
The Sparkle Muffin.
The Sparkle Muffin.
Sparkle Muffin. Dang. Well, you know what? Good for her.
The other thing I do know about children, they are expensive. So that could also be why.
Yeah, hey, get your coin, you know? Absolutely. Do you think, I mean, they're probably just, they have help, right? But they're, I would just also want to imagine the fiction of Robert being like stay-at-home dad vibes. Because it's like, he's not working on stuff right now, you know?
Yeah. Yeah,
but like, they definitely are paying someone to just take care of their child. But imagine, if you will.
I think it's a mixture, right?
Yeah,
probably. I think it's definitely help.
Yeah, right.
I also don't know that there's... Listen, I think that good on her for continuing to be a person during this time. I know that a lot of folks who have children have said that it's easy to get lost in only focusing on your child.
Yeah.
What I need to know your immediate opinion about is the announcement of this specifically.
Yeah.
Because it is weirdly, because when I think of Sparkle Muffin, I think of very Lisa Frank-esque.
Yes. Yeah. I have also now just discovered what a Sparkle Muffin is. Which is this very colorful spider.
Yeah, so as this U.S. Magazine piece goes through, by the way, thank you, Ken Simmons, for this piece, it details in very strong language what played on the TV screen behind her when this was announced on Instagram. Yeah. It is very arachnid focused.
Right. So that's a hey, you know, that's
and
yeah.
It feels a little Madame Web-esque.
Yes, it does feel very Madame. Her
web
always connects them all. You know, what can I say?
No, literally
connects everyone.
Apparently, the narrator in this announcement said that it's a species of peacock spider, renowned for its dazzling appearance and intricate courtship rituals.
Okay.
But those who were invited on the Sparkle Muffin tour is to find like-minded arachnids keen on shaking tails for suitors in an impassioned love dance. Jesus Christ. My water bottle does not like spiders, and neither do I, but I fully thought Suki was in the room with me. That scared the shit out of me.
The spiders are coming in. They're...
It also talks about cannibalization in this announcement. I'm so intrigued about what the visuals for this are going to look like.
Yeah, I remain perplexed by Suki Waterhouse's whole thing. Like, I don't really know who she is, and that's honestly kind of great. She's just kind of there and doing her own thing, and that's awesome. Whatever.
I made the mistake of thinking that she was the calm to Robert's weirdness. These two are just weirdos together.
They're just weirdos, yeah. For sure.
And I think that that's really powerful.
Yeah.
And good for them, honestly. I am nervous about these visuals just because I'm not really a spider person myself. But good, you know what? I'm not going to yuck her yum.
Yeah.
So, congrats, Suki. I love that for you. Have fun. Congrats on just, like, embracing your weirdness.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
I want to take us to our next piece, which is just a brief review from Distractify about some of the filming locations. This is more so just a segue to talk about friend of the show, Bobby,
Hell
who
yeah.
I didn't realize until Bobby posted this photo that the Mystic Grill, TM, was a real like that was a real place.
Like a real actual restaurant. Like real grill. Who'd have thought?
I didn't think about it at all. I didn't think about it once. But this piece from Distractify talks about where a lot of the filming locations are in Georgia, which, thank you. I think we have talked about this a little bit, but I know a lot of CW shows film in Canada.
Yeah.
Most of them being in Vancouver. I had just assumed, especially for season 1 before they got like a full budget, a lot of it looked like that. But in season 2, I can see it. I can see the vision. I see the Georgia. What just shocks me, and Bobby, I would love to know more about your experience at the grill.
Yes,
I just didn't
give us
really
a full
think
review. Was the food good? Did you have the
tell me everything.
little burger?
I just really thought that it was on a set somewhere.
Yeah.
Not like a place.
Like a place that exists and serves food.
Yeah. I need to know everything immediately, actually. But I mean, this Distractify piece tells me what I had confirmed, right? Which is that, like, part of this is filmed in British Columbia. Yes, I know. Thank you. And then outside of Atlanta, which 2010s makes sense, because, like, a lot of the places that we assume, especially, like, Marvel made this a big boom, too, are in Atlanta. But I need to know more. So, Bobby, tell me everything, actually.
Please give us the full review. Please and thank you.
Please and thank you. So last week, Rose, very strong lore dump episode.
Yes, completely.
And also just punch in the gut pain at the end that I put deep in the recesses of my mind and tried to forget since we recorded. And then we get this week, Katarina, also continuation of lore dump.
Yes, strap in. We got more lore, baby.
We got more lore. We got more flashbacks.
We got
but
different languages. We got accents. We got...
They're not gray, though, this time. They are sepia flashbacks.
Right. Yes. Yeah. A little bit more color, you know?
And they're not the boys. This is a very strong, let's submit Nina for all the awards episode.
No, this is this is Emmy consideration. This is because Nina Dobrev she is acting her ass off in this. She's playing like a million different people, speaking different languages. She's out here, different stages of like aliveness, you know? Like there's a lot acting with herself, you know, in many instances.
Miss Ma'am had like a growl in her voice.
Yeah, rent was due, for sure. And she was leaning in.
How did this episode do you for being such a lore dump episode?
I was a little nervous, for sure, because I was like, is this gonna be, you know, like, what are we getting out of this, right? Like, because sometimes they kind of just do that to be like, ooh, period close, and it's like, okay, right? Like, I get it, you know? But I was very enthralled by this sort of story that we're getting.
It went by fast.
Yes, the pacing was very good. It felt like it was just like emotional beat, like let's keep it moving kind of stuff, rather than just like, you know, there is kind of that moment in when Catherine is talking to Elena, and it's very like Bond villain of like, let me tell you my whole life story and evil plan, you know?
I need a swivel chair, stat.
Right, exactly. She's petting the cat. She's like, okay, let me tell you my lore. But everything preceding that is very much like, okay, these are like almost like little clues of stuff, and you're like piecing the puzzle together, but it's not like fully there until she's like, hello, here's the thing, and like Elena's picking up on it, and asking important questions. So I was into this whole sort of like Katerina lore.
I think the reason why it went by so fast for me is that I could watch Nina talking to Nina forever.
No, literally, like if the show was just that, like back and forth, like what was that one show where that one actress played like herself 7 times or something?
Oh, Orphan Black?
Orphan Black, yes. If it was just that but Nina Dobrev, I'd be so into it.
Have I ever told you about the time that woman, I can't remember her name right now, handed me Cheetos?
What? She handed you Cheetos?
Hold on, I need to find her name immediately. Hold on. Because I can't
put
talk
some
about
respect
the
on the woman who gave you Cheetos.
I can't talk about her without knowing her name. That would be disrespectful. Oh, Tatiana Maslany.
Okay, there we go.
So I saw Tatiana Maslany in a show on Broadway that I definitely know the name of. Network was what it was called.
Okay.
So I saw her on Network, and right when it was done, I went to the bathroom when it was done, and that was like when all the actors like come back out and they do their pitch for like, give Broadway money because we need money.
Right.
And one of the things that they do is like sell snacks. Because they do that when you're coming in, but they also do it at the end of like, if you buy these red vines, it goes to the theater. Sure, yeah. And when I was coming out of the bathroom, Tatiana Maslany was like right there, and she had all of these like snacks, and I was like, I'll buy some Cheetos. And she gave me these Cheetos, and I gave her like, I don't know what it was, like $5 or something.
That's
and I was
incredible.
Like, hey, thanks.
Did you know who she was?
Oh yeah, absolutely, because she was in that production with Bryan Cranston. Like, she had just got done acting. Okay. But I was like,
and you were like, hey girl, give me some of those Cheetos.
I was like, hey, thanks, Tatiana. Because like, even though she was in the show, right? Like she was Tatiana, like everybody from the show like comes around, and they're like, it's kind of like the tithe or whatever in church, where they come around with the basket and they're like, money please. Right. Yeah. So I was like, I'll take these Cheetos. Thanks, girl.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Now I just want a universe where I can buy Cheetos from Bryan Cranston. That seems like a dream.
No, literally. Yeah. That I probably would have like death dropped. Right. I mean, I felt the same with Tatiana Maslany because like it's Tatiana.
Of course. Yeah.
But with Bryan Cranston, I probably would have kept it together just a little bit less, just because like if he had made eye contact with me, I would have probably stopped making eye contact, just because like he's so like it's probably the same when Ian makes eye contact, you know, like he's just so eyes forward. Yeah. But to your point, I would watch a full show with Nina playing different characters. She's so engaging.
She's got the range, absolutely.
She's so much more interesting when she's engaging off of herself.
Right, like you can tell she's being held back so much by most of these actors. And when she gets in a room with just herself, it's like leaps above everything else.
I forgot. There were moments in the show where I forgot there were other people. Because I was just like, we could just stay in this tomb. I want to see you. Right. And I think that it's also a testament to Nina's acting, because I thought of Catherine, aka Katerina, as a different person in this moment. Totally. I was like, I want to see you bounce off of this person in this moment. Yeah. And having it be confined to such a small space, I think, especially when the two of them were sitting right on this like invisible line, made it so much more interesting, because they had a lot less space to work with. I loved it. I want to know your opinion, and on Katerina having falsies in 1492.
It's so important to me. It's really important. Listen, she's going through a lot, okay? She needs... Are they historically accurate? No. Is she slaying so hard with them?
Yeah.
Mid-birth?
God.
The full set on? Listen, you love to see it. Girls gotta do what a girl's gotta do.
I never watched Rain, but it was giving a little rain.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
And I think that was beautiful. Did it make sense in the timeline? No. But I was engaged and enraptured.
Right. I was seated for it, yeah. I had no
absolutely. Okay, so lesser moments in this that I think are worth noting. Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk about Stefan and Damon?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about Stefan and Caroline? Or do you want to talk about Bonnie and Jeremy first? Where do you want to go?
Oh gosh. Let's go. Let's get Steph and Damon out of the way.
Okay.
Let's do that. Let's run that. Run that.
Okay. So they start off together, but then they do go on their own little side quests. Mm-hmm. Them just fully thinking that the originals are not important.
It's so frustrating, and we talk about this every episode, where there are large threats, sizable threats, and they're like, nah, let's not worry about it. And it's like, hey, can we have some, let's take some of this seriously, right? Because, y'all have just been fucking around for 150 years with no consequence, right? Mostly.
Literally.
And when actual things that could change the structure of their lives and the people around them, they're kind of like, that's fine, new scary people in town, it's alright, we're good. It's like, hey, I need you to fucking pay attention to your surroundings and the people that are causing a threat to you and your livelihoods, okay?
There's a moment at the start of this episode when Damon and Stefan and Rose and Elena are all in the room together doing this initial lore dump, where Stefan calls Klaus a quote, stupid bedtime story. And I wanted to shove my head against the wall because
I need a little bit of self-preservation here and foresight here. Because even Rose is clearly being like, hey, you should not fuck with these people because they're very scary. Klaus is very scary. And he will find you and fucking kill you and everyone you know. And it's like, can you fucking pay attention and then take this seriously? And they're just like, oh, sorry, I was just snoozing. No. Oh, I'm so scared. It's like, you motherfucker, wake up. What are we doing?
And we find out, not only from the flashbacks, but also by the end of this episode, why Rose is so scared. I mean, we knew last episode, right? But we get additional context for why her fear is so justified.
Right.
But
because he does not work like everyone else does. His gears are different. His senses
these two chuckle fucks, who again, as we've said almost every single episode, their spidey senses are not turned on. No. Are essentially just called Arrow from the Volturi. Just yawned at his powers. Yeah. Not to say that, I think you should call the vampire cops, not that I think that you should approach them with deference, but don't knock their power when they are, 400 years older than you. And have
you guys are in Little League right now.
Literally.
This is the Olympic team going on here right now. And y'all need to just, sit back and listen, because you are not as good at this as you think you are.
I loved that moment, by the way, when later in the episode when Rose slams Damon up against that SUV and is like, oh my God, I'm older than you. You need to shut up.
Yeah, because Damon's talking a lot of fucking smack and being like, I'm really good at snapping people's necks. So, you shouldn't fuck with me, ooh. And she's like, motherfucker, I am 1,000 years old. Fuck out of here. I know what I'm doing. You should be fucking with me, motherfucker. You're already ruining my day and making everything annoying. Stop.
You've gotten me into so much shit. I've been running for 500 years because of you, essentially.
Right.
You need to shut up. I also loved, like, Damon's been having a day. Like, it started essentially with him seeing Elena with the necklace on, which...
Yeah.
First of all, writers, go fuck yourself.
Right.
But I loved him getting his ego checked there. I also loved him getting his ego checked in the cafe when Big Brain Slater comes in and reads him like a Wikipedia article. And he's like, who are you?
Right.
And why do you know everything about me?
Yeah. Like, oh, I love that. Ripped that guy, by the way.
I loved him.
He was great.
I wanted
just,
more of him.
Encyclopedic knowledge, and Damon's like, whoa, I'm supposed to be unknowable, and he's like, you are very easy to read and know about. Like, I
wish
kind of
that
wanted
he
them to
had
kiss.
died.
I can't lie. Yeah.
He's like, I have 20 degrees. What else? And honestly, he was so justified, because he's like, what the fuck else are you supposed to do? I'm immortal. Why would I not have 4 PhDs and like 10 BAs and 4 math? Like, what else am I supposed to do other than accumulate knowledge? And honestly, I get it. That's exactly what I would do. But he walks in, just clocks Damon for everything that he's worth. And also, I wrote down what he had said, because it was the most interesting thing that I'd heard in a while. Because he was talking about, he did his thesis on sexual deviance in the Baroque period, and I was like, and the fact that he died, I was like, no, wait.
Like, hold on. Wait.
Hold on.
Go on.
I need to know everything about your life.
Yeah. Jeez. Gone too soon, for sure.
Gone too soon. And also, I know that we talked about this in the last episode with Rose and Trevor. Why have these people been around for so long and they don't have sun rings?
Yeah. Like, what?
It just doesn't make logical sense.
No. It was kind of a slay that they were like, oh, we just have like double glass panes that just block the UV light, so we are still vibing. It's like, okay. You just like made a more complicated thing, but that's cool too, I guess. Like, sure.
We have to go on Yelp and search for that. That's the only kind of places that we go for, but
right.
It's a little bit more inconvenient, but
yeah,
it
our realtor
now.
Is exhausted with us. She really doesn't know what we're.
We are insufferable on House Hunters.
Yeah.
That was probably the best technological innovation. Vampires probably loved that, actually.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That little trip was super interesting. And I'm glad that they did it, but seeing because we're just on Damon's side quest now. Yeah. When Elijah showed up,
oh my god, yeah,
and him holding the coins, at first I was like, why would he need, like, what does the metal have to do with his spidey senses? Mm-hmm. But when he broke the glass, oh my god.
Hello? Excuse me?
Elijah is very cool.
Yeah.
He's not a good person, but all of his powers are very intriguing to me. And the way that they are crafting him as a villain, I understand now why they are setting up the originals as a spin-off.
Right, yeah.
Because what do you mean that they can compel other vampires?
Yeah, it's like, that's the whole thing.
That's the whole thing.
That's the whole thing. And now it's like, but what if not, though? It's like, what? Okay. Fuck. I mean, sure. Which means these chuckle fucks, as you said, can't even see them as a threat, just like physically or emotionally. And now it's like, oh, these fools are going to be fooled so easily. Because if there's compulsion in the equation, it's Jover. Like, it's so Jover.
Which means that Homeboy Elijah chose to let them get away last episode.
Right, of course.
Because
and they're like,
wants
hell
them
yeah,
to
we're
not
so good.
know. Because they don't know anything.
No.
Damon and Stefan know nothing. They're completely, like, it wasn't until I realized when Slater was talking to Rose at the end, that Damon hadn't even known about the Moonstone thing yet, because fucking Stefan and Damon don't communicate to each other.
No.
They only like to talk in person. They don't text each other.
No.
These two are embarrassing.
Yeah. And meanwhile, Elena's out here getting more information than anyone else. Because she actually does the thing of like, hey, what if I just talk to Catherine, right? Like, I feel like a lot of our problems here and knowledge, like, she's scary for sure, but she's also like on death's door right now. So I think it's fine if I'm just like, hey, babe, like, what's the plan here? What's going on? Meanwhile, Stefan and Damon are like, it's fine. No one's gonna be used as a sacrifice for some larger plan. It's like, I swear to God.
Well, they assume that only Catherine, or that Catherine only lies.
Right, yes.
Which, sure.
Yeah, I mean, not an unfair assumption, for sure.
You're not wrong. But
right.
What would she gain in this moment from lying to Elena?
Right.
I would argue that, I mean, we would have to go back and track everything, but I don't think that she has lied to Elena.
Yeah, right.
I think that she has lied. I mean, to my knowledge, I think that the only person that she has been honest to has been Elena, because what does she gain from it?
Right.
She's really the only person that she can't manipulate, because their lives are kind of linked that we're aware of.
Yeah.
And right now, I mean, at the end of this episode, Elena, I mean, she can die, right? But like, specifically for the curse, she can't die because Catherine still has the Moonstone in her possession.
Yeah.
So the whole like sacrifice TM can't move forward.
Yeah.
So in a weird way, Catherine is like taking care of Elena.
Right. When
so why would she lie to her?
Right. And
No,
she was
literally.
very clear, being like, hey, Damon, you can lock me in this tomb, whatever, but like make sure that Elena's good, because she's in danger. And she's the only one actively doing like any sort of, you know, harm prevention towards her by keeping that hostage a little bit. Like, hello?
And those two thought she was lying, and she wasn't.
Right. Fucking hate it here. They can never make me hate you, Catherine.
They could never make me hate you. Yeah. I'm curious though, what are your thoughts, because they tried to humanize Catherine this episode.
Right.
How did you feel about that?
I mean, I'm still like conflicted of like the whole, I think it's a better way of doing it versus like, oh, she really loves Stefan this whole time. Like, it's always been a true love. You know, I think this makes more sense of like her getting, you know, disowned and having to flee and having to like restart her life and like, you know, the child out of wedlock situation. Like, I think it makes more sense for her character than her just being like, ooh, it's for my one true love. And it's like, okay, like, you know, that's not like the way to humanize her in a way that makes sense or like is also in line with her sort of villain era, you know? Whereas this is a scorned woman who has went through shit and is also like not playing games anymore. And that like makes sense with like how she acts in a way. So I'm like, I'm here for it.
I prefer them trying to humanize her by having her like touch this photo of her family.
Yeah.
Because that was like the original heartbreak, by like pulling her away from her family and the fact that Klaus like slaughtered her family.
Yeah.
Which like, my dude. Hey. Versus this idea that like she has to be with Stefan. Cause hey, Catherine, you could do so much better. This dude has no idea what's going on. There's no thoughts up there.
Yeah, no, it's all head empty for sure.
I think it's also a really smart choice that they are building Klaus as this like, and it's, I mean, I know that it's saving them money for casting, but like they're not showing him. Right,
like he's just like big boogeyman kind of
exactly,
which is makes it so fun. They're just being like, ooh, looming. Who's it gonna be?
And I know that, like, that comes from a monetary choice, but from a writing choice, I think it's really smart to, like, build up this hype. Because we're seeing Elijah as this, like, second-hand person. We're seeing Trevor, who this episode we find out was, like, part of the originals group.
Yes.
Was, like, part of it, and then went, like, defected and was like, girl, you got to get out of here.
Right.
So that was interesting. They didn't really hint at why Rose and Trevor were running last episode. So to find out that Catherine was involved in that was super interesting. I feel like we could, I mean, listen, vampire stuff is all about death, right?
Yeah. Right.
I didn't feel like it was necessary for them to include the hanging bit.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a lot.
I know it's Catherine, right? And she's so dramatic.
Like, right, yeah. She is gonna go out in a dramatic fashion. That
felt very necessary. Like, it felt appropriate, I will say, for her character to be like, I'm gonna do this in a very dramatic way. But she had already stabbed herself.
Right, yeah. We kind of got the idea there already.
Right? But the fact that she moved so quickly, I thought she was already a vampire.
Right. Yeah.
So to know that in context, she had been a human under Klaus's, like, domain colors a lot of that story.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think that it was very interesting to see the quick change into, like, the Catherine that we know now, to be like, this caretaker can go fuck themselves.
Right.
I have a plan. So I liked seeing that change very quickly in her character, and how much it doesn't feel like Elena in those flashbacks, which I appreciated. I want to know your thoughts on Caroline pretending to be a bad liar, but actually being an amazing distraction this episode.
Yeah, she's putting in some work here. And being like, hey, Stefan, I'm not telling you. I'm not telling you where Elena is. Wink, wink. Like,
wink. Let's talk about Tyler.
Yeah, let's do like, ooh, I actually have Big Bad because I made a mistake. I told Tyler that I'm a vampire. Like, is that okay?
Her distracting him to the point where she was able to eat a whole salad.
Right.
Then got ice cream and a brownie.
Yeah.
Before Stefan was like, hey, wait a minute.
Wait, hold on. It's like, we don't hang out ever. Why are we, what the, like, this is clearly some ruse.
Everyone that Elena associates with, except for Damon, who I know is on a field trip right now, is in this grill right now.
Right.
Except for Elena. So where is Elena?
Yeah.
She's like, oh, that's so interesting that you brought that up, actually.
Right, it's so funny, actually. She told me not to tell you that. So we're going to talk about my stuff. How's your salad, babe? How's your... You want another scoop of ice cream?
I did... That moment was super cute, though, with him bringing up Lexi.
Mm-hmm.
And him being like, listen, I'm not going to tell Damon about Tyler. I'm a little mad. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Right.
Caroline does remind me a little bit of Lexi for that, like, brief moment that we saw her.
Mm-hmm.
So, Stefan, you got a minor point for me this episode. But
yeah.
You're just not... I've seen you be scary before.
Right.
Where is that?
What happened to that guy? Where'd he go?
Where'd he go? You are, like, theoretically having, like, a drop of blood every day. You're supposed to be at, like, your peak right now.
Yeah.
I don't see it at all. It's embarrassing, my guy. Also, where do you think Elena got that blood? Do you think it was her blood?
Yeah, because she brings, like, a full Gatorade bottle of blood. And I also love, too, that she's, like, she also brought little tiny cup to be like, okay, let me pour you a shot. Let me just move it over with this long-ass stick. Just push it in. Which is hilarious. But I don't... Maybe...
That was a lot of blood.
That was a lot.
If
like,
it was hers.
If it was hers, I feel like that would be... If she's still also giving blood to Stefan a little bit. Like, that's a lot, right? Like, that's probably not good. Maybe there was, like, one loose blood bag Capri Sun from
she was
Stefan's,
in their
like,
house. She could have snagged one of the ones from the freezer, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like she was just like, just in case, you know, don't want to bleed out right now to fill up this water bottle.
Yeah. I hope that's the case, because it was a lot. It was a lot for her to give personally. I need to know your thoughts about Bonnie and Jeremy.
Oh gosh. Okay.
He literally asked her on a date, and she was like, "Hey, my best friend's brother."
You, like, I don't know what. I thought we were like we were just hanging out, you know? I thought it was more like that kind of situation. And yeah, she's just like, listen, you are baby brother to me, so yeah.
And he was like, oh yeah, totally.
It's like, that's for sure what I thought. Totally, we were on the same page about that, you know. But I still see a, you know, maybe there's a path, but I don't think we're here. Because Bonnie's like, hey, there's actually this cool new guy in town, so, you know, maybe not, bud.
I'm worried because, like, it was already painful enough with Damon and Rose this episode of them being like, we're gonna turn our hearts off, right. And then ending up like hooking up with each other, right? Which is definitely turning your heart off for sure.
Yeah, you're doing great, bud.
And then Bonnie having these like super subtle hard eyes, because one, it's another black guy in this town, which like never happens apparently, right? And when he shows up at the grill, and there's only like one, it's just this and the Applebee's, so like there's not a lot of places to hang out, but it's already suspicious. Yeah. They're witches. Warlocks. Sorry, Luca. They're warlocks.
Right, yeah. He's like, I'm not a witch, okay? I'm a man.
I'm a man. The dad knew Bennett's, specifically from Salem. Yeah. And Bonnie was like, oh my god, instead of, oh fuck. Right. Bonnie, babe. I know you're desperate for connection, but like we need to teach you about danger again.
Yeah, let's just think a little bit for a second.
And this is why Stefan was literally there, but apparently he turned his spidey senses off. So he didn't clock this, apparently. A part of me wanted to be really excited about it, except for the fact that Luca is there on espionage. Yeah. It's not... we can't... Bonnie never gets good things. And I'm really
it's like everyone's got to be a fucking narc or a spy or someone actively not caring about her and has a larger hidden agenda. And then there's Jeremy, but it's like, that's too close, baby. That's too, you know. And also, he's got a history. Maybe he shouldn't be going back into... He would hurt her
in a different way.
Right,
like,
in new and exciting ways. Yeah.
Like, new exciting ways, oh no. When Jeremy turned around when he was playing pool and he saw Bonnie talking with Luca.
Oh my god. Jail. Immediate jail.
It was so fucked up. But like...
It's like, it's only been like 5 minutes. Can we just...
Literally. Because it wasn't even jealousy. It was just immediate like, of course.
Man. Yeah.
Oh, of course. I'm just a freshman. Ugh. And why would Bonnie want to be with me when there's a new toy here? Yeah. Like...
I need everyone here to stop getting into relationships. I think we all just need a beat, right? Like, we could just...
absolutely.
Go to class, right? Like, there's other stuff going on that I feel like...
No one went to class today.
No. Everyone's been at the grill for 24 hours. Playing pool and working out their relationship drama. Yep. And it's like, hey, love and light to y'all, for sure. I'm worried about you guys getting into college, you know? Like,
because there wasn't a volunteer thing today, right? There wasn't an event. Go to school.
Right, yeah. You didn't have to go to a masquerade ball or, you know,
Clean
pick
up
up
a park.
recycling on the side of the road or something for
Right.
disadvantaged youth. Like, let's just go to school.
Go to school. That's your event this week. Go to class.
Yeah, let the vampires figure their own shit out. They got other things they're doing. You can go to class, and it's fine.
Right.
They've taken this class before. They're okay, you know? Like, you guys need to have a future.
The supernatural creatures, they already got their degrees. It's your
Right.
job. No.
They're good, you know?
It was already sad when Slater got because he was like, when he looked at Elijah and he was like, so you handed me the steak, but like that will kill me forever.
He's like, that would kill me for real. Like, I'd be for sure dead. And he's like, yeah. Pretty sad, huh?
Yeah, but...
That kind of sucks. Bye.
And to
like,
know that, like, when they expanded the frame out, they, like, zoomed out, and fucking Lucas' dad's there.
So sick and twisted.
I think it was, like, Dr. Jonas or something, and I was like, God damn it. Of course he's got a witch on his side.
God, fuck.
I'm so bummed out.
Yeah, I wanted to see so much more.
Sorry, Warlock. Sorry.
Yeah,
I just
excuse
wanted
you.
Bonnie. I just wanted Bonnie to have, like, some new black friends.
Yeah.
That she could trust and not people that were coming in to spy on her.
Yeah.
Because when Catherine was like, oh yeah, so I turned Tyler for the curse. I turned Caroline for the curse. And I got the moonstone. And I'm going to kill you because that's all for the curse. And now that they're trying to get, because it's poetic. And
right.
Now that we have next week for the sacrifice and Bonnie's there, I'm just very nervous.
Yeah, because now it's going to be Bonnie and Caroline. Mm-hmm. Which is, in Catherine's defense, very poetic. Very sick and twisted. Very evil. She's
great.
Like, it all worked out in a because she was like, it really could have been anyone, but it is kind of sick and twisted this way. It's like, motherfucker,
Yeah.
This poetic justice, I hate it here. So I'm fucking scared.
I'm very scared, especially because, so not next week of the sacrifice. Yes, boo. Oh, you were very scared too.
Yeah.
So not next
Spooks
week.
is spooked, you can say.
He's very spooked. Not next week of the sacrifice, but the following episode, By the Light of the Moon, is the winter finale.
Fuck. Oh no.
Which
so we're not
means
even,
that, like...
the sacrifice isn't even the mid-finale. What the
No.
fuck else is playing?
I know. Which is why I'm, like, even more freaked out. Because, like, what do you mean that the sacrifice isn't... That's not the big thing?
What the fuck?
What do you mean that this photo of Bonnie, like, theoretically chanting something for this spell
Right.
by fire is not the thing where you go 6 weeks before your break?
Yeah. Hear me out. What if the winter finale is fun? It's like a filler episode.
Right.
And nothing bad happens. They go on a field trip.
They go
you
on
know,
zoo lights or
they're
something.
in class. And it's just like, okay, see you next time for the new fun Vampire Diaries half of the season.
I'm so scared.
God damn.
We have some amazing patrons to
Absolutely.
thank. Would you like to start us off?
Yes. Thank you to Maya Bennett.
Ooh, thank you to Sean Salvatore.
Pew. Thank you to Megan Pattinson.
Ooh, thank you to Katya Cart.
Ow. Thank you to Ashlyn Vogel.
Ooh, thank you to Maddie Facinelli.
Pew pew. Thank you to Genevieve Morgan.
Ooh, thank you to Danielle Burke.
Ooh. Thank you to Sophia Salinger.
Ooh, thank you to Dan Zeklos.
Ooh. And last but certainly not least, thank you to Emily Ozera.
Ooh. So I have a fan fiction for you.
Hell yeah.
This is by the author Status Quo.
Okay.
It is titled Planning the Long Game.
All right.
And it was published in December of 2010. And it is 100 words, so I am going to read all of it.
Okay.
The summary is Damon's thoughts on Elena, set after season 2, episode 8, Rose.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
In advance.
In advance.
Okay.
Because we did talk about this specific part.
Yeah, and you went and found it, you sick bastard.
I did find it, yeah. But to be fair, one of my cats is here purring to make you feel a little bit better. All right. Elena on a staircase would make his heart skip a beat, if it could. He has seen so many emotions on her face at the top of the stairs. Fear, heartbreak, relief, anger, joy, and gratitude. She knows she has saved him a few times, and he loves her for the times she doesn't know about. As a monster, he knows just how fragile Stefan's humanity makes him and precisely how dangerous. Believing in love, Elena is teetering at the top of a staircase she doesn't know is behind her. Damon will be there to save her when she falls. End scene.
Fuck. No.
Do you ever just cry?
Yeah, I do. Currently.
That staircase moment will haunt me, I think, for the rest of my life, actually.
Yeah, it's fucked up. It's so fucked up.
But that's for, it was made specifically for people who make, like, fan vids. Mm-hmm. They knew what they were doing when they did that. Yeah. Well, friends, let us know your Slurpee flavor.
Yes.
Send us your well wishes, as apparently next week we don't watch the mid-season finale. Haunting realization to find. Send in your backstories and your fan fiction so that I don't have to stumble into spoilers. And as we say here in the Pacific Northwest,
get bit.
Ooh.
Into the Twilight is an Earbud Media production. You can follow us on Twitter at Into the Twilight or on TikTok at Into the Twilight Show. You can find me at Cody Corral on Twitter and Allie at Alexandria Does. And you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/Into the Twilight. We have merch, so much stuff. All those links are in the episode description. And make sure to rate and review us on your favorite podcast hosting platform. It really helps the show. Thanks. Bye.
You've been listening to Earbud Media Production. Earbud Media, audio for everyone.